So it has literally been about an hour since the Apple event, and I've got quite a lot to say. I'm pretty surprised that all the rumors, basically every single rumor, came true. Astro was a complete flop because we thought the 15 Pro would be red, and it ended up being natural titanium. This video, I'm just going to give you a quick recap of every feature that Apple released, every feature that Apple has announced in the Glow Time event. Let's start off with the Apple Watch 10, which at the beginning we all expected a complete redesign, which technically there is, because now the display is way bigger now, apparently by 30% bigger than the older Apple Watches, which is nice. We also got these new colors. We've got black, gold, and silver aluminum, which is nice. But there's also the titanium version being, so the colors would be gold, natural, and gray, which are pretty nice colors. All of them are pretty polished. It's so shiny, as you can see over here. I'm really liking this design. I actually really do. It's so good. It is, and apparently it is the thinnest Apple Watch. It is about like 10% thinner than the older ones, which is pretty cool, I guess. I'm starting to see a little trend here with these thin products that Apple's releasing. They also now release with the ability to detect sleep apnea, which is pretty important, not gonna lie. I think the Samsung Watch Ultra introduced that. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember, but I guess that's a really cool addition. Hopefully this does not cause a lot of controversy, especially what happened to the US last year. So the chip is called the S10 chip, which is apparently better, obviously, and it does have about 18 hours of battery life, which is amazing. I think that's because of the much bigger body of the Apple Watch. So yeah, I mean, the presenters of the whole Apple show were wearing the Apple Watch 10, which is pretty cool. So that is it for the Apple Watch 10. Let's talk about the Apple Watch Ultra. So the Apple Watch Ultra also got a little bit of a redesign. It's in black now. That is actually pretty cool. I really love this design. This is probably the best design I've ever seen from Apple. It's so cool. It also has new bands, like these 3 new bands, including this titanium band, which is actually a lot more premium. It looks premium. It looks expensive too. That is really it for the Apple Watch Ultra. A lot of the features for the Apple Watch Ultra was said to be helping athletes, apparently. So there's not really much to say about the Apple Watch Ultra, but that is it for all the Apple Watches in this event. Let's move on to the AirPods. So the AirPods 4 will look like this. It's pretty cool. It looks pretty similar to the AirPods 3, except like slightly tilted, and it has this little black thing on the top. I still haven't figured out what that thing is. So the H2 chip is coming to the AirPods 4, which is pretty nice. It has better bass apparently, and personalized spatial audio, which I think was introduced to the AirPods Pro 2nd generation. That's a pretty good feature. And there's also another version of the AirPods coming out, which is also AirPods 4, but I'm not sure if they're gonna call it AirPods 4 Plus or something. We'll have to wait and see. This one will also have a little bit of noise cancellation, which is another pro feature. So they will also have transparency, which is another pro feature, and also the conversational awareness and stuff. And all of this for the price of $129. $129. I have no idea how did Apple pull this off. I think that's the normal model, but still, that is incredibly cheap for all of these features. I have a feeling that these AirPods are gonna be literally everywhere. Literally everywhere. They're so cheap. It's crazy. I think it's cheaper than Samsung's too, which, you know, kind of copied Apple a little bit. That is absolutely crazy. Whatever they did to pull this off, it worked. It really worked. These will literally sell like hotcakes. I still can't believe it. And the AirPods Pro, I'm still trying to figure out. I didn't rush the event again, and I'm not rewatching it right now. I'm literally just filming this from what I remember. I think the AirPods 2 is getting an update, or an updated version of AirPods that can help with hearing aid and also help with hearing loss, which is a big problem, which is a pretty cool feature, I guess. I'm not sure if there are any new features, or is this just an I think this is just an update, but I'll have to wait and see later. Now let's talk about the main thing that everyone wanted to see, the iPhone 16. I'm pretty surprised. All the rumors are correct. We got the colors right this year, which I already said before, we got completely wrong last time. These colors are pretty bright. I didn't expect the blue to kind of look like that. It's pretty cool. So the iPhone 15 does have the 50% stronger ceramic shield, which is nice, I guess. I haven't managed to break an iPhone with a ceramic shield yet, so we'll have to see that. It has 200 nits of screen. I think that's also, I don't know if that's an upgrade. I can't remember the last iPhone 15's brightness. Pretty cool. And it also supports 1 nit dark, which is incredibly dark. Really dark. So yeah, they also brought the action button to the 16s and a brand new button they call the camera control. That's I guess a new button. So how this works is when you slightly press on the camera app, focus to your main subject and click to take the photo. Basically like a DSLR camera. You can also like tap your finger and scroll onto the side of the camera to kind of zoom in or change the settings by double tap and scroll, which is a pretty nice feature, I guess. I think Apple's trying to turn their iPhones into a little bit of a camera right now. So the button isn't real. It isn't an actual physical button. It is actually a haptic feedback kind of thing, just like what we have on our MacBooks. So, or do you guys remember the old iPhone 7 and 8? When you press the phone with the wrong fingerprint, it would not go in. But when you click with the right fingerprint, it would go in. But the button isn't actually moving. That is actually a haptic driver. Kind of fools your brain to thinking that you're clicking something, but you're not really clicking anything, which is pretty cool, I guess. So this iPhone is Apple's official Apple Intelligence iPhone, which is kind of Apple's way to kind of step into this AI game that's going on out there. So if you have your phone and you just click if you click the camera control button and just take a picture of something, you can actually Google search. So it's basically like circle to search on the Android phones, but for us iPhone users, we have a little button that we click that pulls out a Google thing to Google something, which is pretty cool. It is actually a really cool feature. It is pretty useful. That's one of the big things that I might actually upgrade this year. There's also taps to search Google, which is pretty cool. Or you can just click and hold start video and then let go to stop the video and you're good. So obviously the main camera is 48 megapixels, which I think is an upgrade to last year. I don't remember if I can't remember if the regular 15 got a 48 megapixel camera. It has 4K 60 video and macro photography, which is I don't think was ever available on the regular iPhone models. I think that was only a Pro feature before. And yes, you can now record in 3D or spatial video, they call it, or the Apple Vision Pro or any other Vision headset or glasses, I guess. That is the reason why the camera layout is like this, and it looks like the iPhone 10 or the iPhone 11, because the lenses do need to be right next to each other. So when you record in spatial video, it kind of works like 3D camera, which is a good upgrade. I mean, I guess not a lot of people don't have the Vision Pro, but I guess it's kind of like a future-proofing system. And let's talk about the iPhone 16 Pro. The iPhone 16 Pro lineup is going to be way bigger this year. I don't know if they increased the actual phone size or it's because the bezels are so thin that the phone appears bigger now. It has the A18 Pro, which enhances gaming performance, especially for those console ported games that we got on the 15 Pro, which is, I guess, it's just a little. So the iPhone 16 Pro has a 48 megapixel main camera, a 48 megapixel ultra wide camera, and a 48 megapixel macro photography camera. This is what we needed. I mean, our ultra wide cameras were basically unusable, really. They were horrible. Hopefully they do perform better in low light. I can't remember if they did say that. Still recording this literally almost 2 hours after the event. I've only watched it once and I wrote down so many notes as quick as I can. So also I think it does feature this cool little LUT selection type of thing, or preset selection, so you can kind of see what your image would look like if you had to edit it in Lightroom, which is pretty cool. I guess the raw files are a lot more better this year. You can record at 4K 120 frames per second, which means you can record in slow-mo 4K now, which is nice, I guess, for those cinematic moments, like for cinematic explosions or a music video that was shot for the weekend on the 16 Pro, which is pretty cool, I guess. So yes, we can record in slow-mo now in different frames per second for a different look, which is pretty cool. So in the voice memos app, app on the 16 Pro, apparently you can layer voices and sounds over each other, kind of like making a sound. Realistically, I think this is a horrible idea. I mean, we already have this app over here, and I think this is a recipe for disaster. I mean, realistically, who's gonna use this voice memo thing and actually make something that makes sense? The audio on the 16 Pro is in Dolby Vision, so basically the iPhone 16 now meets the requirements for Netflix or Apple TV, which is pretty cool. Which makes me think, are they actually gonna make a whole movie shot on the iPhone 15? I mean, iPhone 16? I think they might have already done that on the 15 last year, but I can't remember really. I think that is what's Apple gonna do. I think that Apple's gonna do something like that. Shoot an entire movie or series on one of their iPhones. I don't see them not doing that. I think they are actually gonna do that. But yeah, this iPhone 16 Pro is gonna be sold for $999, which is the same price as last year. There were rumors saying that the price was gonna increase. I also saw that on the news. I was pretty scared because I was thinking I'm gonna have to pay more for the regular Pro model now because I wanted to get the Pro Max, which I don't know if I'm gonna get the Pro Max, but I'll see depending what I need. So yeah, that is it for the iPhone 16. That is it. Now, I know there's gonna be a lot of hype right now, and if you're watching this video, chances are you also have a lot of the iPhone 16 Pro on your home screen right now. But here's the little issue that I am predicting here. I think a lot of people are gonna be very disappointed with this iPhone because nothing much has changed from last year, being honest. I think people are kind of tired of the innovation that Apple is bringing to the iPhone, especially with their most popular iPhone, iPhone Pro. I mean, the design is literally exactly the same as it was 4 years ago. 4 years ago. I mean, this is literally just an iPhone 12 with just a few hardware updates and software updates. I mean, how does Apple not see this? Why aren't they prepared for this? Why can't they see the competition? Is Tim Cook getting tired of the iPhone? Is Apple's trying to step away from the iPhone? In 2020, I thought the iPhones in 2024 would be the most futuristic looking devices, and I think all of us also thought that too. And the iPhone 16 is literally just an upgraded version of the iPhone 13 or 12. Throwing AI at it is an innovation. Why can't they see that?
And we are calling it iPhone. Today,
let's take a look at 2016. iPhone 7 was announced, and I think we can remember everyone was pretty disappointed. It kind of looked like the iPhone 6. It felt like the iPhone 6, but it just had no headphone jack. This disappointment of an iPhone. I mean, all that Apple did was just do the regular updates to the camera and the chip inside and a little bit of the battery health, but that's it. Nothing crazy. But after the disappointment of the iPhone 7 came a brand new iPhone. A truly revolutionary product in the tech industry, a shock for many, and a redemption for Apple. An introduction for the future in which we are living right now, the iPhone 10. What if that is happening again? What if this disappointing update to the iPhone is just to give Apple a little bit of time for them to think differently again? I mean, their slogan is literally think different. I'm sure you've heard about the rumor. The iPhone 17 is getting a brand new phone added to the lineup. A brand new thin iPhone. People are calling it the iPhone Slim or the iPhone Air. This is the iPhone that I think is going to cause a lot of wow and a lot of attention. I do believe that this iPhone is going to change everything for smartphones. Instead of going for the more pro features, the extreme chips that we don't really need, these crazy camera updates that most people don't even care about, why don't we just make a cool looking phone? A really light, thin, and beautiful iPhone that actually matters for the regular people of today. That seems like a very Apple thing to do. I mean, look at what they did with the MacBook Air. Like that iconic moment when Steve Jobs pulled it out of that little folder. I think whatever Tim Cook is cooking this year and up until next year, until the 17 releases, will surprise everyone, including me. I mean, I don't want to get my hopes too high, but if you have an iPhone 14, an iPhone 14 Pro, or iPhone 15 or iPhone 15 Pro, you don't need to upgrade this year. I think it's okay if you can stick with the iPhones that you have and wait until the iPhone 17 is out next year, because I do believe that that is going to be the wow year, the redesign year, the year where Apple actually thinks different. So maybe we should just stay back a little bit and be patient and just wait for Apple to think different again. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe because this is the very second video on this channel. More videos will be coming out, and also let me know, will you be upgrading this year? I'm actually pretty curious. I will respond to every comment.